Good morning, Year 5s, and welcome to your reading lesson. Today we're going to be continuing with our learning objective, which is our inference. So we're going to be to infer using our find and copy skill. For those of you who have your Reading Eggs account, will you please log on to your Reading Eggs program now and complete the next lesson? And you do not need to participate in this one. Those children who are with me, you're going to be carrying on reading Stig of the Dump, and we're going to be reading the next 4 pages like we did yesterday. I'm going to read you a page, and then you're going to carry on reading the next page, and then I will read a page to you, and then you can read the last page. So please follow with me. And we're going to be looking at the next chapter, chapter 7, Party Manners. It was the Easter holiday. Barney and Lou were doing some painting in the dining room, and Granny had spread some sheets of newspaper over the table in case they made a mess. Barney had his elbows on the table and was reading the newspaper. Hey, Lou, he suddenly cried. Look what it says here. It says, Bottom's Mammoth Circus. Do you think we can go to it? I expect it's an old newspaper, said Lou without looking up from the horse she was drawing. The circus has probably been and gone a long time ago. No, but Lou, do come and see, begged Barney. It might not have. Lou came round the table and looked at the advertisement. Right, pause the video now and read the next page for me. They do seem to be keen, the darlings, said Mrs. Falcon Green. Do bring them if you can. I'm sure they'd look charming as a puma and a caveman. My little niece is going to be a Dresden shepherdess. We got the costume specially made from London, and she looks so sweet in it. It's been so delightful meeting your charming grandchildren. I do hope we shall be seeing them on Wednesday. Mrs. Falcon Green swept out and drove off in a large, shiny car, and Granny began to explain the difficulties of making fancy dress costumes with only a day and a half to do it in. Perhaps they could go to the circus instead of the party, she thought. Their parents were coming at the weekend to take them home. The children went off rather gloomily. They hadn't the heart to go on painting. Lou curled up with an animal storybook. Barney stood by the window and thought. Then, without a word, Barney slipped out of the house. When he got to the middle of the back lawn, he stopped and thought again. He went back into the house, crept upstairs, and searched round his bedroom until he found his precious collection of glass marbles. Then he slipped out of the house again and set off for the chalk pit. He was wondering if the plan he had thought of would work. Or rather, he hadn't got a plan, he just had a feeling that Stig could help him once more. But it was going to be difficult to explain this time. He was sure that Stig wouldn't understand about fancy dress parties, but Stig had such a lot of things in his den that some of them were bound to come in useful, if he could get Stig to part with them. Right, you can carry on reading now until the end. So pause the video now. Right, so we're going to be carrying on with our skill, which is our inference skill, okay? And remember, our inference skill is finding evidence using the clues to understand this text further. And we're going to be looking specifically at our find and copy a word or a phrase that suggests, okay? And here are our steps to success to help us. We're going to underline the key information. Unfortunately, you can't underline it, but just try and identify your key information. Use your own knowledge and the clues that they give you in the text to answer, and use evidence if they ask for it. So we're going to be looking at the silly mistakes that some children made yesterday in their reading. So some of the silly mistakes I saw was when it asked for a word, I still got children writing a number of words. Now, if they ask for one word, you just need to give me one word as the answer. Okay, even if you write a whole lot of words and in that group of words there is the right word, their question has asked for one word, okay? And the other thing is that spelling must be spelled exactly the same according to the text. So those are just 2 things to keep in mind today when you're doing your assignments. Right, so you're going to log on to Teams now and you're going to answer the few questions that I've set out for you. You're going to read the text carefully. Now, unfortunately, you can't highlight your keywords because you're not allowed to use a highlighter on your screen. I don't think your parents would be very pleased with you. All right, but do try and in your head think about the keywords. So this skill is we find and copy a group of words, and that tells us that he was excited about the circus coming. Okay, so those would be maybe my keywords that really jump out at me that I would be then looking for when I'm looking to answer that particular question. We would then expect you also to highlight it in the text. And again, we can't expect you to do that because it's on a screen, but just for future, when you do come back to school, you'll be highlighting that answer so that you could spell it correctly. So log on to Teams now. I hope you enjoy your learning today, and I look forward to seeing your answers. Take care.